Hey kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Maybe you want to become a famous soccer player. Or maybe you want to be a doctor. Or the president.
Well, in today's lesson, we're going to learn how God can get you there. God helped Daniel get to the top in Babylon.
Daniel was living in Jerusalem when it was captured by King Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon.
The king took all the fancy stuff back to Babylon and decided he needed some strong men from Jerusalem to work for him.
Daniel and a few other guys were chosen to go through this training to see if they were good enough to do it.
And Daniel made it through and worked for the court of the king.
He made it there because God helped him and wanted him to be there. King Nebuchadnezzar had a crazy dream that only Daniel could interpret.
The king had a few really weird dreams that he didn't understand.
After the first one, he called all of the smart people in the kingdom and asked them to tell him what it meant.
None of them could do it, but Daniel prayed to God and God gave him the answer. So he told the king what the dream meant, and the king rewarded Daniel by putting him in charge of a lot of the kingdom.
Then he had another weird dream, so he had Daniel tell him what that one meant too.
God told Daniel that the dream meant King Nebuchadnezzar would become selfish and God would punish him. King Nebuchadnezzar went crazy, so God could show him who was really in charge.
The king's dream came true. One day he was looking out over his whole kingdom and he took all the credit because he was such a great king.
But that wasn't true. He had a big kingdom because God gave it to him. So God made him go crazy and live in the wilderness.
He was stuck there until he realized that it was God's doing for his success.
When the king finally realized that God was in charge, God gave him his kingdom back. So kids, what's the lesson we can learn from this story?
If you ever get to the top, remember who put you there. Think about the two guys in this story. Daniel was humble, so God helped him get to the top.
King Nebuchadnezzar was too proud, so God took away everything.
God is in charge of what happens to us. Memory verse. God controls the course of world events.
Kids, don't be like Nebuchadnezzar.
When something good happens in your life, don't say it's all because of you.
Remember that God is the one that got you there, so be humble and thank him.
So kids, next time you are thinking about becoming a famous soccer player, think of this lesson.
Remember that God is in control and he's the one that gets us to the top.
Hey kids and parents, if you want to learn more about being humble,
or Daniel and the Lions did, check out the links below.